Hey, I'm Candace, your host, and if you're ready to grow your business and build your authority by getting booked on podcasts, I've got something special for you. I'm launching a brand new course that will walk you through exactly how to get booked on podcasts. Everything from identifying the right shows to pitching, preparing for interviews, and leveraging your guest appearances for growth. Plus, if you sign up for the waitlist now, you'll get early access to the course and these special bonuses. When you officially enroll in the course, you'll save $50 and get a free one-on-one strategy call with me to help you prep your speaking points and align your offers. These bonuses are limited and end on April 13th, so make sure to sign up today. Head to the link in the show notes to join and get started on your podcast guesting journey. I can't wait to help you get booked and start sharing your message with the world. Now let's dive into today's episode. So I literally just wrote out my to-do list for the day and I was like, I am going to record content for social media, check my scheduled emails, and I have a client call coming up here. Now I just sat down to record a podcast because I'm inspired. And that's kind of what happens when you're in entrepreneurship and you get to act on inspiration, and I highly recommend it. Today's episode is going to be a solo one, obviously, all about letting go of the how. I have read in tons of personal development books. I have been told by other coaches and friends of mine in the entrepreneurial space, the more we can surrender and not worry about the how, we like to have such a grip of control or the illusion of the control on how we're going to get to our goal, maybe even the timeline of it and all of those things. In reality, that control is an illusion. And the sooner we can let go of it and learn that the how is not really so much our business. It's not really our business. The more we can lean into that, typically the faster we end up getting to the goal. But if you're like me, you probably love to take action. You have that kind of go-getterness about you. You want to know what you're supposed to do, right? You decide on the goal, the vision, whatever, and you're like, okay, well, let's go get it. To hear that we need to release the how, not worry so much about the how, can feel very counterintuitive and counterproductive. But what you can do is to get a little quiet, find some space to meditate, journal. I'll link them in the show notes. I have lots of them on my YouTube channel that should be able to help you out, get you going, help guide some thoughts in the right direction, set the vibe. Because I know when I first started to sit with myself, it did not feel good. So if you're hearing that and you're like, God dang it, I'm sick of people telling me to do that, I'm here to help with some meditations and journal prompts because I needed the guidance, still need the guidance. It's very helpful. So anyway, that's in the show notes. Go ahead and do that. In our New Year episode about the brain dump, the prioritizing, and then breaking down of those goals, lean into the inspiration. For example, me recording this right now. I was completely inspired. Acting on those moments are huge, especially if you're an entrepreneur or wanting to be one, or just in general, you're chasing goals and dreams. Acting on the inspiration. The inspiration is there for a reason. You are having these bursts, I like to call them downloads, intuition. You might replace those words with like God, a nudge from spirit. Follow those. Those typically are revealing the path. They are showing you the how. They are the how. The other examples that I can give you are to lean into not only the inspiration, but what sounds exciting, what might give you like really great butterflies in your stomach. You know, you're kind of nervous, but you're also like really excited about it. Leaning into those things can be huge as far as the how. Committing to getting out of your comfort zone each day, even if it's just a pinky toe outside of the comfort zone, just pushing that envelope also tends to get you to the goal. Even when you don't understand or know for sure why you're called to do something or why it feels like it's out of your comfort zone, just trust it. Having a lot of faith and trust in the process. And some days it's like, I just want to control this. I don't want to have all this faith. Can I not just do X, Y, and Z and then it happens? Typically it doesn't. The part that comes with that faith is also then getting yourself out there, making connections. I'm an introvert, so a podcast is my jam. I'd much rather be here where I get full control. I can edit. I don't have to be face to face and say something awkward. I'll just say it here. Instead, you can hear it. But getting yourself out there, letting yourself be seen, letting people know what you actually do is huge. On days that it doesn't feel like anybody's listening, it doesn't feel like anybody's watching, keep going. Because somewhere along the line, people are, and they're going to start to think of you about certain things. One example of this is that people still ask me questions when they are flipping furniture, when they're trying to restore certain pieces of furniture, because when I was doing that for like a year straight, I shared about it. I shared before and after pictures. I was posting it online because it was fun. I haven't shared about that though for at least a year, maybe longer, and I no longer do it. But just last night, I still got a message on Facebook saying, hey, I hope you don't mind. Can I pick your brain about a piece of furniture, a desk that they were flipping for their mom? Okay, so let's take this a step further and we talk about letting yourself be seen. What does that mean? Because if you are anywhere like me in the beginning where and even now to this day, I have moments or weeks where I'm like, I don't really want to be seen. I would rather be behind the scenes, or I'm shy, or I'm introverted, and I don't have a social media presence. Okay, all of those things. The point is, you have to let yourself be seen. How do we actually do that? Like, what does that mean? Yes, one way is you could show up on social media, you could share what you're doing. You could just post and share the things that you do each day. Social media is not the only way to do this and not the only place to do this. It just comes down to you letting other people see you. It's possible that in your own life, maybe there's people, friends, specific group or community that you're part of, and they don't know about what you do or what you want to do because you've never let them see it. Your first interaction with people or posts on social media doesn't need to be you selling. It can be as simple as you letting people in and along for the ride. Another way is just to get yourself into communities, either virtual or in person, that are aligned with your expertise, your goals, or whatever it is that you're trying to start up or do. Let's say you're going to start making baby blankets. Make a couple, give them to family and friends as gifts. Let people know that they can refer you. Let people know that you're doing these things so that when someone thinks of a baby blanket or a gift for a baby shower, they think of you or they think of recommending you. There are all kinds of Facebook groups and different virtual communities like that where you can search for them and join them for free. Typically, that is definitely a place that you could start. So for example, this last week, this is where the inspiration is coming from. I was approached by a spa in Maryland. I live in Minnesota. I do not have any connections to Maryland. So let me give you this rundown of how this happened to kind of help you see, like, I am not in control of the how here. A year ago, I interviewed Maggie Hunter on the podcast here. We were chatting after about my life, and she was so nice to do that with me. And she's like, it is meditations, it's your podcast, it's behind the scenes, like that is all coming for you. And I was like, that sounds great. I didn't really know the how. I was in a spot where I'm like, do you have any more details about that? Do you have a list of to-dos that I could just tackle and make that happen? And that's just not how it works. So here we are a year later. And I was all of a sudden approached by a spa in Maryland to write them custom meditations. They were very specific. They were going to pay me to make them custom meditations that they could play in their new salt room for their clients when they had 45-minute sessions. Okay, how did this all come about? Well, someone that I did a one-on-one call with and helped her with her Flowdesk and YouTube. She just needed to know more about it, was wasting too much time Googling, didn't feel like she had the space to figure out all the things on her own. We hopped on a quick hour call. I showed her all the buttons and the bells and whistles. She was like, perfect, I got it. And she ran with it. About 3 months later, because she had followed me and knows that I like to do meditations and make meditations for fun, she runs the Longevity Lab. It's in Rochester, Minnesota. She's in a community on Facebook with other people in sort of the spa, skincare, facials, that kind of, network. The spa that contacted me from Maryland had written in there and said, hey, we are looking for custom meditations, someone to create them. And my client reached out to me and said, can I give them your contact info? Sure enough, she did. That day they wrote me and boom, bam, bing, the project is done. I've sent it to them. They've loved it. I did not have control over that how at all. Having the faith and the trust that things are happening in the background for you because you're willing to keep sharing what you're doing. You're willing to let people know what you're about and what's going on is huge. I know it can feel scary. I know there's days where I too am thinking, holy cow, what did I sign up for? Maybe I should quit all of this. Okay, it's probably you're going to be getting your period or you're on your period. Just let it pass. Not a joking matter, but those days are going to happen. Having that blind faith is not easy. But as entrepreneurs, especially, we have to have it. And if you don't feel like you have it right now, then you have to do work on that inner mindset and inner belief to go and create it for yourself. It's that big of a deal. It is the difference between success and not, between reaching goals and not. All right, that was the inspiration. I hope that helped. I hope that is finding you on a day that you needed it. And if it is, please share this with someone else. We can be reminded that we all rise together, especially us women. We are made for community. We are not made to be at home alone, isolated. We are made to share with each other, help each other. So keep it in mind, as it is in the forefront of mind, to support each other, to refer each other, to do what Lindsay did, my former client, who passed on my name to someone across the country from me, because it's huge. It makes such a difference in all of our lives, in all of our businesses. So keep those referrals going, keep getting yourself out there, keep pushing the envelope, keep trusting and working on your mindset and inner belief. All right, have a good day. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. If you're ready for podcast mentoring, whether it's setup, editing, planning, or guesting, you can book a one-on-one call with me through the link in the show notes. I hope you feel seen, inspired, and like your dreams and goals are completely valid, because they are. See you next Tuesday.